Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to Scaling for Success Class 5 of 7. And it's an honor to have you here. And today, we can move forward here onto our agenda. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about business etiquette and how little things matter in that process, working with buyers. And then we're going to talk about the pitch presentations for the final day of class, and a little bit about what we're going to be doing on next Wednesday, and then what we're going to be doing on Thursday. So let's go on. So Pam, do you want to read the quote this time?
Yes, absolutely. Little things matter. I found this one by Vincent van Gogh, which I really like. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. And I like that. I think it's a good thing to remember. So we're going to talk about those things, those little things that do matter. Etiquette defined. So Joey, I'm just realizing that this isn't the right font. It didn't save the right thing. So I just want to let y'all know that this could potentially be a little wonky with formatting. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, sometimes the presentations end up a little weird.
Yeah, so no problem. Just wanted to put that out there in case it looks a little silly. So really, business etiquette is really about maximizing your business potential. And it's really about building relationships as well. And I think that it's probably the most important thing in business, yet it's probably the most neglected part of thinking about your professional life. So really, I think despite the fact that we don't think about it as much, or we consider these perhaps maybe some trivial things, they really do matter. The little things do matter. It's not old-fashioned, but it's simply a kind of a guideline to help you succeed in business and give you a competitive edge, because not everybody's going to pay attention to the little things. So you need everything possible going for you. As a small business owner, if you're going to thrive in this world today. So talent and hard work are important, but you do need to pay attention to your behavior, your attitude, how you treat others, and how you make them feel. And Joey's going to talk a little bit about this. It makes all the difference. It really will set you aside, set you apart from your competition, and it'll distinguish really the good businesses from the okay businesses. Want to remind everybody that people buy from people, okay? So as much as you might be selling a product, people are buying, you're selling to people. And even if it's just like a subconscious thing, if you make people feel good, they're going to like you. And people who like you are more inclined to buy from you. Versus a competitor. Okay, so those are pretty important things. Next slide, Joey. So email etiquette. All right, this one is kind of near and dear to my heart. Obviously, emails and now actually text are starting to become, the most used form of communication. So it's important to get it right. And especially for those of you that, maybe grew up using, texting and things like that, you can kind of mix up the two. So if you think about a professional email is going to a professional person. And you've got to think about how many, sorry, the chat is in here and let me turn off my chat. Professionals, yes, email professionals. I can tell you, I can get anywhere from 10 to 20 emails a day. There are other folks out there that are getting, you know, upwards of 100 emails a day. So it's very important to be very clear about what it is that you're asking for. The last thing you want to do is force this person who you're sending the email to do work to find out what it is that you want, or, you know, what you're asking for. So a couple of things: no stationery, no fancy fonts, no colors. Make it simple: white background, Arial size 11, use black. You're going to want to limit the use of bold, italics, underlines, and of course, emojis. I think emojis are best left for texting and for your friends and family. You're going to want to use a meaningful subject line. And by that, I mean, what is the purpose of this email? Is the email here to sell you something? Is it to confirm an appointment? Is it to, you know, whatever? Make it really quick. Again, these folks typically are getting quite a few emails, and if you catch them right with a meaningful subject line, they know what they're getting into when they read the email. If you're going to attach anything, you want to mention it. Kind of like before you send an email, that's one of my favorite things in Outlook that says, if you mention an attachment, it'll say, did you remember to attach it when you go to send it? And most of the time I didn't. But anyway, so it's a good idea to let your recipient know if you have attached any sort of documents. Reducing the file size is important. I think you notice, like, if I were to send out this PDF, it's going to be, I don't know how big, huge. Excuse me, in a PowerPoint, but if I were to just save it as a PDF, what's going to happen is it's going to, you know, shrink the amount of data in the file. Same with photos, so you can zip. So be mindful of that, how much you are sending in an email. Also, when you start writing the body of the email, you want to be to the point. You want it easy to read. And you don't want to bury the lead. Okay, that's like in newspaper speak. So state right up front what it is that you're looking for, and use bullet points where you can. Another really great idea is to separate your bullet points or paragraphs with spacing. So it makes it your eye a little bit easier to read. Include actions and due dates if it's required, or if you're mentioning. And please, please, please proofread for grammar or spelling errors. I always have my grammar spelling check on before I send emails, and it's probably a good idea to do the same. It's so easy as we're fast typing to make an error. And then the other thing is, use an email signature. That's going to have all your business contact information in it. So this way you're not forgetting to, you know, include your phone number or include your web address, those types of things. Okay. This is an example of a slide that's very similar to slides that I have received, or excuse me, not slides, emails that I have received. And really, I just look at it and I say, I can't. I either skip it, or, you know, and then it falls at the bottom of the pile. But again, this is kind of similar to some things that I have received with regard to Ventures Marketplace and placing products. But you know, just follow up in the subject line, not who it's by, who's following up. And hey, Pam, you know, that's a little friendly. You can use that after you've met them. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. You don't have to use that. And then this email is sounding like it's like a friend to a friend. And it's as if this person should know everything that is going on in the brain of the person who's sending it. So, you know, I sent some stuff to you to look at for your store. Did you get it? I hope it's not lost, LOL. Let me know what you think. I hope to hear back from you. Smiley face, Betty. Okay. I don't know who Betty is, maybe. She doesn't tell me the name of her business. I didn't know which product she was sending or why. Really, it's a matter of, it's a simple thing to add phone numbers or other contact information. And again, it's really the difference between acting on an email that a buyer or a potential customer would read, or have them just ignore it and have it drop to the bottom of the list. And I mentioned earlier, and I think it's worth repeating, that it's really not courteous, it's not kind to send an email off where you are asking the recipient to do all the work. So I have to remind myself who Betty is. I have to remember what her product line was. I have to stop. What's her phone number? It's just not courteous, and it's not a great idea to do when you are trying to develop relationships out in the world. So let me give you an example of one that is a little bit better, and I'll go ahead and read it because it is kind of small. So the subject line: follow up on Betty's Baubles product samples. Hello, Pam. I hope this email finds you well. Congratulations on earning the Best of Seattle Award for accessory shops. It is well deserved. This is Betty from Betty's Baubles, and I'm following up to ensure you received the product samples I sent you via UPS last week. I show they were delivered on Friday, 4/1. I'm excited to get your feedback, as I believe Betty's Baubles perfectly rounds out your beautifully curated assortment of accessories. I've attached a PDF of the presentation included in the package that she had sent. So you have quick access to an electronic version. So you're making it really easy. Some people like paper, it's included in the box. Others want it in PDF, and you've captured both of them. The next section: I can imagine how busy you are, so I hope to make this easy for you by attaching my calendar link. Simply click calendar link to schedule the best time for us to meet, or if you prefer, to set up a video call. Now, here's a smart thing. Additionally, I will be in your neighborhood next Tuesday and will stop in to say hello. So guess what? It's not really a cold call if you have stated that you are coming by. Just drop in to say hello. So that's a little secret that you can try. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to meeting you and learning more about your store. So it's not all about me, it's about us, and as much you as it is me. So sincerely, Betty Smith, owner creator of Betty's Baubles. And then in my signature, it says Betty's Baubles, betty@bettysbaubles.com, a phone number, and what your email address is. And I would include also an Instagram link or a, Facebook, whatever it is that you have. I know I like to look at, so sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off. I like to take a look at Instagram, or their Facebook page. So I want an opportunity to kind of get a feeling for, or maybe it's to remind me of their product line, get a feeling for where they are in the process of their business. It'll tell me whether they're active, on social media or not. And essentially, you're removing all barriers with this type of email to getting a response. You're making it very easy for them to respond. Does everybody agree? Anybody have any comments on that? Email etiquette? Have you all gotten ones where you're like, I don't know who this is and what they want, Yep. Sadie's got your thumbs up. So let's dive into the phone. There is this thing that is, Joey, next slide. There is this thing called a telephone. Whether or not you use it, it is still available. And I think that oftentimes we're afraid to use the phone. I don't want you to be afraid. Sometimes using the phone is the smartest thing to do. Couple things you want to do. Identify yourself. Who are you calling for? I especially like, hi, my name is, I'm calling for, or we have an appointment. Identify yourself when answering a call. So this is really important when, you may only have one phone number, and it's both your personal and your business phone. So what you want to do is make sure to leave a proper phone greeting. And I'll call some people. In fact, this happened to me just the other day. I needed an electrician, and this guy was referred to me. And so I called him, and I got, this was the message, and this is his professional business. You have reached 206-873-2121. Please leave your message. Well, I'm not going to leave a message for a phone number. I don't know. Did I call the right person? Is that the right business? Am I, I don't know. So take a moment. Blank voicemails and full voicemail boxes are extremely inconvenient. I did not add that on here, but yes, going through your voice, actually listening to your voicemails and clearing them out is certainly helpful. Some buyers may be more comfortable using the phone. So make sure that you are thinking about that. So when leaving a message also, we have a tendency when we're nervous or excited to kind of speak quickly. I hope I'm not doing it now, but you want to speak slowly and enunciate your words. And you want the opportunity to repeat your name and your phone number. I'm sure all of us have had this experience where somebody called you and they left their number at the very end of the message. And it's a 2-minute long message, and they left it just at the very end. And you have to listen to that whole message 4 times just to make sure that you got the phone number right. Not a good idea. Think about, here was an example actually that I wanted to share with you that I was thinking about. My brother's name is Will Sinton. And when he introduced himself to somebody, this was at not a formal, informal gathering, introduced himself as Will Sinton. And he said it quickly, Will Sinton. And so what happened is this person went around and started introducing him as Wilson. So, if you're not speaking clearly, people can get all kinds of wrong messages. Have you ever noticed that when you smile, your voice comes across as friendly? Try saying something really friendly and nice without smiling. So try saying something. It's so exciting to see you and meet with you. And I can't wait to, you can't do it. So, but smiling, it allows you to speak confidently, to speak clearly, and in a friendly manner. So don't forget to smile when you speak. Let me see. You know what? I forgot there was something. You don't need to change the slide or anything. Back on the email addresses, you want to keep in mind also to separate your personal email from your professional. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to make sure that that's really important that you do. Yes, Sadie says no Hotmail. What was that? No Hotmail at, yeah. So that's a little bit about the phone etiquette. Also, Meeting etiquette. So what's probably most important in a meeting is confidence. You need to be confident in who you are. You need to be confident in your abilities. You need to be confident in your product and what it is that you're selling. I don't know if a handshake is still the standard nowadays, but you know, if you consider it, or I don't know what the deal is, but you know, I like to, you know, offer my hand when I meet somebody. Another thing, preparing ahead of time, learn something about them or their organization to break the ice. If you noticed in that email earlier, there was an award that they had received. And so I immediately just called that out just to make somebody go, oh, thank you. And then they, you know, go in. So it's kind of like the sandwich thing, a little bit about you, a little bit about me, and then a little bit more about you. So if you can, you know, Google the business, go to, you know, just find something to talk about. There are so many ways that you can, you know, maybe it's an article you read or something that has to do with something that their business cares about. Doing that will go a long way towards, again, making you stand out. Appearance. Okay. Seattle casual can still be professional. All right. So keep that in mind. Being, you know, well put together, well groomed, like you cared. You know, so when you walked out the door, it looks like you put a little bit of effort into how you are appearing. Also, the impact of a smile and engaging in eye contact, that cannot be overstated. A nice big smile with an introduction and looking somebody right in the eye, and when you're talking with them really is respectful. Be on time. I'll say that again, be on time. And by being on time, that means be early, because then you will be on time. And that's always difficult with appointments, especially if you were driving to an appointment, but also if you're coming into a video, etc. We do a lot, Joey and Anna and I, we do a lot of Calendly appointments. And so that it's easy for entrepreneurs to just go in and schedule some time on our calendar. And what that does is it blocks out time on my calendar that I can't use for anybody else. And it also, I always schedule at least 15 minutes before and sometimes after, before, just to get myself up to speed on what's the latest and the greatest going on with this person in their business and how I can support. And then when it's done, we have to take notes. So it's like a full, you know, a full hour for a half-hour meeting. So if you no-show, that is really like, again, it's not respectful. It's not courteous. It's just not respectful of anyone's time. So if you can't make it, even if it's you realizing it 10 minutes before, just call or email or do something and explain that you can't make it. This is a horrible, you know, situation, and I apologize, but I'm not able to meet our meeting. You know, I'll contact you later to reschedule. So very important. Also, and I fall prey to this one, I don't bring my business cards everywhere, and you should always have a stack of your business cards in your pocket, briefcase, you know, backpack, whatever. So good idea to keep your business cards there. Anybody that you meet, you never know, you could be out to dinner and the waiter starts talking to you about something and you're like, oh my God, I've got the perfect product for you. You know, you've got a card, you're making a contact. So please remember to give your business cards out. One of the things I remember at, I used to work at Nordstrom many years ago, And this was before, email and oh God, I'm really dating myself. And so business cards were even more important, right? So the store manager there, I will never forget, in a meeting, he said, "You all are not passing out your business cards." And you know how I know that? He says, because they're not littered all over the mall and all over the parking lot. Because if you are giving them out often, they are going to kind of show up here, there, and everywhere, but that's okay. That means that you are doing it and you're giving people an opportunity to contact you back. Thanking them with, oh, you know what? One other thing on business cards. Let me show you. I worked for a company where I would go to Asia, and Taiwan is one in particular. And one thing that they do with their business cards, I don't know for those of you that have been to Asia, but what they do is they present the card with two hands. So when you meet them and you say, yes, here, and you hand it to them, it's like a gift. So keep that in mind. And please and thank you. That goes a long way. I got a challenge for you for the week. Next slide. That's correct, Sadie. Passing anything in most Asian countries with two hands, it's a symbol of respect. So I got a challenge. So I want all of you to take a moment to, if you don't already have it, to create a signature to include in all of your email correspondence with regard to your business. Okay, so what you want to do is, if you are new in your business and you're in startup mode and you don't have all the funding to have like a separate domain, that's fine. But create a free email address using your business somehow in it, rather than using just your regular email address. And some of us have been creative. One gal I remember getting an email from, and her email address was sexyninja@gmail.com. And I thought, I don't know if that's really, they're not really thinking through the details here, obviously. So take a look at your email address. If you're still using, a Hotmail or AOL account or Yahoo account, most people nowadays use Gmail for whatever reason. And so it's an opportunity to create an address for free that goes, it can come to your same email box, but it's going to be for your business. And I would encourage you to do that. Also would encourage you, when dealing even with us in incubation programs, to utilize your a business address rather than a personal address. So I want you to consider updating it if it needs updating. And I want you to create a signature. It's a lot more professional. It's adding credibility, and it reinforces your brand identity, whereas Sexy Ninja doesn't. So let's see. Oh, phone. Okay, this is going to be, you're probably going to be amused at this if you haven't listened to your voicemail greeting in a long time, and I bet you haven't. Play what your voicemail greeting is and consider re-recording it if you need to. And by that, I would, if you only have one phone number and it is for both personal and business, I would go ahead and use your business in it. Hi, this is Pam Home. with ventures. I'm sorry, I missed your call, blah. And another thing that I want you to do is perform a self-evaluation while you're on the phone. Probably not today because you're likely not going to be on the phone tonight, but maybe throughout the week. Pay attention to how fast you're speaking, the energy level. Are you smiling? Are you conveying a respectful tone to them? And really the bottom line here is that all of these little things add up to a big thing, and that is your professionalism, your reputation, your product representation. And it's easy to forget about them, but also very easy to add to your everyday goings-ons. So little things matter. All right. Do we have any questions, Joey, that?
I'm reading through them right now. Sadie, thank you so much for posting your signature. That looks great. Sadie says that she has done practices where she's recorded herself on Zoom to evaluate how she communicates on client calls. And I think that's absolutely great. Anytime you're recording yourself and watching it back, playing it back, it's a great tool to use in enhancing your communication. I know even when I was watching back the videos of our class, the first thing I thought was, that's what my voice sounds like. So, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
When you're doing these things.
I see that David was wondering about thoughts on follow-up notes, calls, emails post-meeting, and we will address that. Yes, absolutely. A simple thank you email or a follow-up email. This is what we discussed. This is what we agreed upon, and looking forward to next steps kind of thing. What else? Stay humble and like that. All right.
Ready? I think we're ready.
Well, thank you all so much. Working with buyers.
Yeah.
Joey.
So I'll take over this section. And here we're going to be talking about working with.
Scroll for you or no?
Working with buyers. No, I think we're okay. And our quote of the section is start from small and dream big, by Robert T. Kiyosaki. And it's absolutely true. Everyone wants to get to the point where they're working with giant retailers, making tons of money and becoming a national brand, but it's hard to get there. And it can overwhelm yourself and your business if you move too fast. So here we are, next slide. So we're going to talk a little bit today about the advantages of starting locally with retail merchandisers. There are some advantages to this. You obviously can build a sales history that you can then project forward for larger retailers, and you can make mistakes on a much smaller scale and learn from them, right? If you are selling, let's say you're using a co-packer and you move from your product straight to a distributor and you're selling 5,000, 6,000 units. Well, you just happen to not test this batch and there is an error. The product doesn't taste correct, or there's some sort of malfunction. You are on the hook of paying for that back. And if you're in a situation where you're, rolling over your entire funds to your next batch, you can be completely bankrupt from one situation like that if you take like bite off more of the apple than you can chew. If you move too fast, there's proximity advantages. You're working with local retail merchandisers allows for easy face-to-face communication with quicker response times. Larger chains have many more people emailing them, contacting them, trying to get answers from them. Local retailers are a lot easier to communicate with. This proximity facilitates more agile and responsive partnership. You have a better understanding of the local market than you do internationally, right? Local merchandisers have an intimate understanding of the local market dynamics, customer preferences, and local trends, and they can offer valuable insights and adapt strategies accordingly. If international trends are great, but they're fluid, they're fickle, and they can change rapidly, and having someone who has their finger on the pulse of the market as a whole is a lot easier on a local level than on a national level or international level. You have reduced transportation costs. When you start locally, it often means lower transportation costs, which can be particularly advantageous for small businesses with limited budgets. You're not shipping things all the way across the country. Sometimes you're delivering them yourself. So it can, all in all, like, bring those costs down. You get a lot more personalized service. Local merchandisers can provide a more personalized experience, taking into account your specific needs and tailoring their approach to your brand. And can help build trust. A local presence enables you to build trust with merchandisers through regular and in-person interactions. And this trust can lead to stronger and mutually beneficial business relationships. Next slide. So one of the first things that you're going to want to do when you are entering any retail space, whether it be locally or internationally and nationally, you're going to want to find the decision maker. And there's a few ways to do that. Determining the correct merchandise decision maker at a retail store is crucial for establishing effective communication and collaboration. And here we're going to talk about some different ways that you can go about doing that. And first, we want to start with research. You want to research the retail store and its organizational structure. Look for publicly available information online, like on the store's website, LinkedIn profiles, or different industry publications. And those may provide insights into key personnel and decision makers in the merchandising process. You want to inquire if you have contacts in the industry. You want to really leverage those contacts, especially if it's within the retail store or industry as a whole. Reach out to them for information. They may be able to provide guidance on who holds merchandise-related decision-making authority, and put you in contact with them. Visit the store. If it's possible, make an in-person visit to the retail store. Observe who appears to be in charge of product placement, pricing, and overall store layout. Store managers, department managers, they often have significant influence on these areas. And if they aren't the merchandiser themselves, they know who is. So if you can identify those persons and speak to them, they might be able to point you directly to the person you need to contact. You can always call the store, ask to speak with someone in charge of merchandise or product selection. And if the store operator or employee doesn't provide this information, you can always ask them to connect you with the appropriate person. If they don't know, they probably know the person who knows. Again, you can do some LinkedIn research. You can do some LinkedIn sleuthing. You can search for employees of the retail store, look for titles like buyer or category manager, merchandising manager, or store manager, because those roles often involve merchandise decision-making responsibilities. You can attend industry related events, conferences, or trade shows where retail professionals may be present. And these gatherings provide opportunities to network and identify those key decision makers. And sometimes a retail store will have vendor guidelines. Check to see if they've published vendor guidelines or contact information for potential suppliers. These documents often specify whom to contact regarding product submissions and partnerships. Sometimes you can even connect with suppliers and competitors, who have experience working with that retail store. They may have insights on the decision-making hierarchy and can provide those contact information for you. And ultimately, and this is oftentimes not the end goal, but the step that you want to take to really move forward, is ask for a meeting. If you're unsure about the correct decision maker, consider reaching out to a senior level contact within the store and politely request a meeting to discuss potential collaboration. And they can guide you to the appropriate person if necessary. And remember to be persistent and professional. Be persistent in your efforts to identify the merchandise decision maker, but always maintain that professionalism, that business etiquette, and courtesy in your interactions. Building positive relationships is essential in the retail industry. And then remember to save that information. Keep a record of your research and any contacts you make along the way. These can be a valuable future reference for follow-up. And remember that the merchandise decision maker may vary depending on the type of retail store, its organizational structure. It's essential to adapt your approach based on the specific circumstances and be prepared to engage with multiple stakeholders if necessary. Here we are. Now we're going to talk about some appointment preparation points. Preparing for a meeting with a merchandiser is essential to make a strong impression and maximize the effectiveness of your presentation. So here's some notes and steps to help you prepare. And you want to, again, Pam mentioned it, you want to be business casual at minimum, with some looking clean, well groomed, and have everything you need with you. Have samples if you want them, line sheets, order forms, business cards, your appointment calendar. You need to know what's coming up ahead for you as a business owner to be able to plan for the future. And then there's some other little details that can help you along the way. Research the merchandiser. You want to gather information about that person, including their background, their role, responsibilities within the retail organization, and understand their preferences and any past decisions they've made regarding product selection and partnerships. You won't always be able to find that information, but looking for it is valuable. You want to know your product and market. You want to have a deep understanding of your product or product line. Be prepared to discuss its features, benefits, competitive advantages, and how it fits within the retail store's market and customer base. You want to define the specific objectives you want to achieve in the meeting, whether it's securing shelf space, negotiating terms, or gathering feedback on your product. Having clear goals will help guide the conversation. And then you want to tailor your presentation from store to store. You want to make sure that your presentation aligns with the merchandiser's interests and needs. Highlight how your product can address their specific challenges or objectives, such as boosting sales or meeting customer demands. Anticipate questions and objections. Prepare for potential questions or objections the merchandiser may raise during the meeting, and be ready to address pricing, distribution, marketing support, and any other concerns. You need to have the answers for why you're doing things the way you're doing them. And then you want to, develop a compelling pitch, which is something we're going to talk about a little bit more. But Craft a concise and compelling pitch that emphasizes the unique selling points of your product, highlights its key features, benefits, and how it meets the needs of the retail store's customers. And be prepared to provide a competitive analysis. Be prepared to discuss your product's competitive landscape, provide insights in how your product compares to its competitors in terms of quality, pricing, or market positioning. And be able to discuss your pricing in terms. Be ready to discuss those things to ensure that your pricing strategy aligns with the merchandiser's pricing expectations and profitability goals. If you are expecting to sell your products for $11 each so that they can retail for $13, the merchandiser might be completely against that. That they might have a set price that they're willing to pay for something that MSRP is for $13 or $15. And so you want to make sure that your product and your pricing kind of align with what they've been with different products that they handle. You want to present a clear merchandising plan that outlines how your product will be displayed, promoted, and integrated in the store's existing offerings. Visual representations or mock-ups can be useful. And not all of this is necessary for every single meeting. For an introductory meeting, you might not be bringing in how your products can be presented at the store. But these are things that, apply to multiple meetings that you might have in the onboarding process. And detail the support you can offer in terms of marketing campaigns, in-store promotions, training for store staff about the product, or little one sheets that you might be able to provide that explain a little bit more about the product, and any other initiatives that you do that can drive sales. And you want to familiarize yourself with the retail store's policies and requirements for product placement, packaging, labeling, and compliance, and ensure that your product meets these criteria. If you're going into a store like PCC that has very strict packaging and ingredient requirements, you want to make sure that your product meets those requirements, and do whatever research you need to do beforehand to make sure that your product is meeting those requirements. Remember to practice your presentation. Time yourself to stay within the allotted meeting duration. If you know that you have a half-hour meeting set up, you don't want to do a presentation that takes 45 minutes. If you know that you have a 15-minute meeting, you might not want your whole presentation to be those 15 minutes. You're going to know that there's going to be an introduction at the beginning, and then salutations there at the end. You want to make sure that you're fitting within the correct time. And then, once again, logistics. Confirm the meeting details, like date, time, location, and any technology or equipment needed for the presentations. By thoroughly preparing for your meeting with a merchandiser, you can increase your chances of a successful and productive discussion that can lead to mutually beneficial outcomes for your product and the retail store. And some of the stuff on this slide are a little bit repetitive to what I was just talking about, or what we've been talking about throughout this time. But learn what you can about the buyer. You want to be genuinely curious about their business, and think of the retailer ultimately as your customer, right? Because if you're selling products business to business, that business is your customer. There might be an end consumer as well, but their product, they are the ones actually buying your product. So you want to make sure that your product is attractive to them, not just the end consumer. Something that I like to bring up is no one in this Zoom room has ever purchased anything from Coca-Cola, right? We have only ever bought things from the retailers that are Coca-Cola's actual customers. they absolutely market to us. They build a demand for the product, but the people that they actually sell the product to are retailers, not us. And you know, ultimately, you want to take those etiquette details that Pam talked about. Smile, you know, ask for their card, give them your card. And you never want to be openly talking negative about the competition. Definitely talk how you compare to the competition. But you know, if someone is already, if they are already carrying a product in their stores, they don't want to hear from you about how poor of a product it is and how it's never going to sell. You always want to stay positive about everything. And again, those logistics, confirm the next steps. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what to do after the appointment. Pam, you there?
I am. Thank you.
Yep.
I didn't realize this was my slide, but after the appointment, oftentimes, you know, we think, oh, phew, we got the appointment done. But what is a really great idea is to sit afterwards. Maybe we'll get a cup of coffee or a snack and think about how the meeting went. What would you do differently? Jot down some notes. And while your meeting is fresh in your mind, you record what happened in that meeting. What was said, little tidbits here and there that you could maybe use in a follow-up email. And definitely sending a thank you email goes a long way. Using notes from the meeting to recap and allows you to connect personally, and also allows you to create next steps. I love to get a recap email, even though there wasn't one that was requested or needed. It's a good idea to, or not needed, but it'd be a good idea to just send a follow-up thank you. And I enjoyed discussing blah, blah, blah. Looking forward to seeing you next week, you know, etc. Important to create a customer contact file. And this is, we've got our smartphones, so it's really easy to do to create the customer's contact information. You want to utilize the notes section as well. You know, maybe what their schedule is, when certain markets are, when they're going to be out of the office, and maybe make notes as to when you should be following up.
Thank you for that, Pam. Now we're going to talk about, you know, building a relationship with a buyer. We have listed a few really important details. You want to get in front of the buyer as often as possible. You want to create a bond in a relationship with that buyer. You have a better chance of closing a sale in person than online. And if someone doesn't know you, it's easy to forget about you. It's easy to not worry about you. Not easy to not do business with you. You know, communication is key, and you want to maintain open and frequent communication with your retail merchandisers. Have regular updates on product availability, promotions, and changes in strategy can help keep everyone aligned. You want to be transparent about your goals, challenges, and expectations. Transparency builds trust and fosters a collaborative atmosphere. And you want to make sure that you want to ensure that the merchandisers have a deep understanding of your products, provide training and resources to help them answer customer questions and promote your products effectively. You want to establish a feedback loop to gather insights from the field. Merchandisers often have valuable information about customer feedback, competitor activities, and market trends, and use this feedback to refine your business strategies. You want to offer incentives or performance-based rewards to motivate merchandisers. This is only in certain situations, but when you recognize their efforts and contributions to your brand success, it can develop that relationship further. Everyone likes to be told that they're doing a good job, right? Have regular check-ins with your merchandisers. Schedule meetings to discuss performance, challenges, and opportunities. These meetings can help identify areas of improvement and reinforce your partnership. And some merchandisers have these regular meetings on their own time. Not that they are not interested in communicating with you more, but oftentimes they will automatically set up an annual kind of review with you. But you know, if you show that you're attentive and you want more information, you want more consistent feedback, you can set up those meetings and make sure that you're hearing from them as regularly as you want. As long as you're not, you know, annoying them. Also something to think about. You want to address issues or concerns promptly and professionally. A proactive approach to problem solving can prevent small issues from escalating into larger conflicts. And you want to approach the relationship with a long-term perspective. Build a strong, enduring partnership with retail merchandisers so that you can yield benefits over time, including brand loyalty and increased sales. And define clear performance metrics and key performance indicators to measure the effectiveness of the merchandiser's efforts. And show the appreciation, again, show the appreciation for hard work and dedication of your retail merchandisers. You know, small gestures of gratitude can go a long way in maintaining a positive working relationship. And that's really what you're doing, whether you're talking to a customer or a merchandiser. You know, you're establishing that positive relationship. And our next section, guided by the lovely Pam Holm, be product pitches.
Product pitch. Vince Lombardi. Always good for a quote. The price of success is hard work, dedication in the job at hand. Whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. Remember this.
Absolutely. So first we're going to talk about what does a bad pitch look like. You know, is there a lack of clarity? You know, bad pitches often lack clarity in explaining what the product does or why it matters. They leave the audience confused about the product's purpose or where it fits into the store or where it fits into like a consumer's life. Poor pitches take a generic, you know, one size fits all approach and don't consider the specific needs and interests of the audience. Or, you know, they have no storytelling. They fail to tell that compelling story, making the pitch less engaging and less likely to resonate with the audience. Bad pitches may describe the product without clearly connecting it to the problem or need in the market. Like why would someone buy your product? What benefit do they gain and what need are you filling? You have a lack of unique aspects of your business. You're not highlighting what makes the product unique or better than existing alternatives. You know, poor pitches lack evidence or data to back up their claims, and this can make the pitch seem less credible. You may have, depending on the scenario, you know, you may lack visuals or prototypes or even demonstrations of the product, making it challenging for merchandisers to understand the product's value. When you're unengaging, you're forgettable. You know, bad pitches fail to engage the audience and are quickly forgotten. And they may lack enthusiasm and confidence. They may lack all of the things we've talked about so far, you know, not have the information that they need. Why does someone want the product? But if you aren't engaging the audience that you're speaking to, whether they are end consumers or merchandisers, you're losing them. And sometimes if you're not prepared for questions, ineffective pitches may become flustered when faced with questions or objections, and be in struggle to provide satisfactory responses. Here. In summary, a good pitch effectively communicates the product's value, engages the audience, and leaves memorable impressions. It addresses the audience's needs, provides evidence and data, and includes a clear call to action. In contrast, a bad pitch lacks clarity, engagement, and preparation, making it less likely to achieve its objectives. Now we're going to talk a little bit on what makes a good pitch. You want to have a clear value proposition. Good pitches start with a clear and concise value proposition. They immediately communicate what the product is, what problem it solves, and how it benefits the target audience. A good pitch is tailored to the needs and interests of the audience. It demonstrates an understanding of the audience's pain points and how the product can address them. Effective pitches tell a compelling story. They use storytelling techniques to engage the audience emotionally and make the product memorable. Good pitches clearly define a problem or need in the market and then present the product as the solution. They show how the product fills a gap or solves a specific pain point. You want to have unique selling points. A strong pitch highlights the product's unique selling points that set it apart from competitors. These could be features, technology, price, quality, or other distinguishing factors. And you want to have evidence for that. This could include market research, other testimonials, case studies, or data showing the product's effectiveness or sales growth. Often visuals and demonstrations help all immensely. Like we've all been to Costco, or if you haven't, I hope you'd get a chance to, on the demonstration days. How many times will we just walk by those products and never give them another thought if there wasn't someone there showing you how it tasted, giving you the opportunity to experience the product? And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the product might not be something that you're interested in, but it engages you and gets you to go from stall to stall and look at the products that you might have otherwise just walked right by in a competitive grocery environment. Having those visuals and prototypes help the audience visualize the product and understand how it works and why it exists. Effective pitches capture the audience's attention and leave a lasting impression. They're engaging, enthusiastic, and delivered with confidence. And they oftentimes have a clear call to action. A good pitch ends with a clear and actionable next step. It might be a request for investment, a partnership proposal, or an invitation to try the product. And you want to make sure that you have that Q&A preparation. You want to be prepared for questions and objections, that you're going to want to respond confidently and provide thoughtful answers to address those concerns.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what the pitch is for. PCC Community Markets are the distributors of the grant awards through PCC. And to be eligible, we're asking that everyone attend all the classes and also present at the expo. I believe those of you that some of you had some things come up, and Joey's been keeping track of all of that. Also, I want to make sure that you know that we will have a scoring system for the expo, and it'll be used to determine the 4 businesses that demonstrate exceptional potential for success in the wholesale grocery market sector. So each of these 4 businesses will receive a $2,000 grant award, essentially empowering you to leverage this money and establish a solid foundation for long-term success. So this is the outcome. So let's dive into a little bit about the judging criteria.
Yeah. And just because I think I failed to mention it, this is by the way, the pitches for the last day of class at the expo for this course. I don't think I mentioned that. I should have.
All right. So the what we're going to do, we're going to kind of dive into a little bit about the world of pitch competitions and what this particular one is going to look like. It's, just like Shark Tank, it's an opportunity to get in front of people who are interested in your product, an opportunity for you to showcase your products to experts and gain valuable feedback. So what we're looking for in terms of the judging can be summed up by product presentation and delivery, and overall impression. I will mention that the judges for this particular pitch competition are 3 folks from PCC that have not been involved in any of what we're doing here. It's going to be the director of merchandising who heads up all the buyers. It'll be the vice president of marketing and purpose, which is the division that works in the community and with folks like Ventures, organizations like Ventures, and then also a store director from the downtown store. So product presentation. This is going to be worth 40 points. And essentially, this is your ability to clearly explain what your product is, what it does, and who it's for. So what you want to consider are having product samples available, either to taste, touch, feel, see, smell, whichever. You want to be very clear about your product's features and benefits. And for those of you, I know many of us get a little bit confused about features and benefits. And I can sum it up in one story. So I sell red umbrellas. And you come to my booth and I say, I've got these red umbrellas. They're so pretty. They've got this bright red color, and I've got this mechanism that opens it up. So all you have to do is touch it. And then the spokes are designed really well too. So those are all features. The benefits are going to be, it is a bright red color. The benefit of that is people will be able to see you in the dark. They'll see you coming. A feature is the fact that it's a push button and it opens. The benefit of that is when it's raining, it's clearly very easy to pop it open, protecting you from getting wet and soaked and drenching your clothes. The feature would be the spokes, sturdy spokes. But the benefit of having sturdy spokes is that in high winds, your umbrella is less likely to turn inside out and get you all wet. So I hope that kind of explains the difference between a feature and a benefit. You really sell benefits. You don't necessarily sell features. You sell benefits. So please keep that in mind. Also, what is setting your product apart from the competition, and this is your product uniqueness, your unique value proposition. These are, like Joey was saying earlier, opportunities for your products to solve a problem or a pain point. And that doesn't necessarily mean something specific, like I'm going to solve a rash with a cream, but I'm going to solve the desire for people to use a product from a local entrepreneur that, are you following? Joey's laughing. So don't think of it as necessarily hard, specific facts of what you're solving. You could be solving somebody's emotional need. You could be solving someone's physical need. So there are all sorts of needs out there. You could be solving a need to moisturize your hands quickly on the go. So different things like that. Your target audience. We've talked about this a lot, and that is so important, that you understand who your product is for. That describes then your product uniqueness and how it is benefiting that target audience. Your product is not for everyone. Who's your target audience? Oh, everybody would love my product. Everybody uses soap. Well, yeah, they do. But how is yours different? What are the features and benefits, or what kind of sets you apart? Let's see. Let's go to the next slide. The next deals with your presentation and your delivery. So the first one deals with your product, and this deals with presentation and delivery, also worth 40 points. And this is an opportunity to convey confidence in your pitch and make a lasting impression. Couple of things that you want to consider is start strong, okay? Don't, hi, my name is, come up with maybe a dramatic opening or a captivative opening, or maybe it's a thought-provoking question. I know, or an intriguing story. They do that a lot on Shark Tank. I watch that show. I love it. So start with something really strong to kind of capture their attention. You want to be passionate. Your enthusiasm about your product will shine through. So you have to be enthusiastic and confident in your product. It's so important to be yourself. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Don't try to, present yourself or your product as something that it isn't. People can see through that. Be passionate, be yourself, be who you are, be the best you can be. Storytelling. Joey mentioned this earlier. So the storytelling is really using techniques to kind of tell the journey of your product. So you can talk about maybe some challenges that you overcame in creating the business, or how your product solves real world problems. Maybe there's an anecdote that you can share. But using stories gives the judge an opportunity to connect more and to feel more of the presentation. Clarity and structure, and these are where you want to organize your pitch in such a way that you are including your introduction, stating the problem that you're solving, what your solution is, the benefits of your product, and a conclusion. So making sure that all of your key points are being shared. Maintaining eye contact and being aware of your body language is also important. You want to be standing, confidently. Try not to fidget, use excessive hand motions or gestures. So using the eye contact really does help to establish that connection as well. And speaking clearly and slowly. Again, when we are nervous, we do tend to speak a little bit faster. And so slow down, take a breath, and it's okay to have moments of pauses in your presentation, to take a moment and regather your thoughts. It's not a problem. Confidence in your product. This is so key. When you exude confidence in your product, in your product's value, in your product's uniqueness, it showcases how it addresses, a real need or problem in the market. And having that confidence sets the tone for the whole pitch. Practice and rehearse. Don't forget that. If you want, you can do it with friends and family, do it live. But it's important to stay also within the time frame. And I should say, also, I do want to mention here that there should be some sort of a takeaway for the buyers as well, or for the judges, excuse me. So a line sheet would be a great example, or a brochure, or a sample, that type of thing. And the last one is dealing with the overall impression. So this is worth 20 points. And this is really looking at the totality of the pitch as it relates to, the feasibility of your business, as well as the product value, your passion and confidence. And also it's the way that you have left the judges feeling that your pitch has a potential, product potential, and your ability to bring it to market. And these are going to be factors that don't necessarily fit neatly into a category, but more of a holistic overall feel in the effectiveness of your pitch. Here, they're going to consider your professionalism, your passion, your engagement, your clarity, and really just the overall feeling that you have after the pitch. You want to also include, to convey your business and product viability, would be a sentence or two about how you would use the funds for your business should you win $2,000 grant prize. Would you use that to buy additional products? Would you use the money to revamp your website? Or maybe it's create a website, or think about how it is that you can make your business more viable with this particular money. And you're going to all get feedback, and that is, I think, probably worth the price of admission, is getting feedback from industry experts. So all of you will leave next Thursday with notes on your product, all of the criteria that we discussed, and so that you can, utilize this information and act on it, or not, however you see fit. That is really it for that part of it. Joey, why don't you? Questions? I saw one question that did come through, and that was the pitch timing and how much time. So one of the things that we want to do tonight, preferably, would be to ascertain who is going to be doing a pitch. So it depends. We've got a certain amount of time. Depends on the number of people that are choosing to follow through with the pitch. So if it will depend. So Any other questions? Joey, if you could monitor the. How many servings?
How many servings do we need?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's, there are going to be 3 judges. So keep that in mind. Additionally, you have the opportunity, we're inviting other members of PCC as well as Ventures. And this will give you the opportunity to continually talk about your business and share samples if you have it, or allow people to touch and feel. So having several samples of things or tastes would be a really good idea. I see Dylan, you raised your hand. What's your question, Dylan?
Just had is it going to be set up kind of like I apologize, I've had COVID all week. Happy me, right?
I'm sorry.
First day I felt somewhat reasonable. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, but are we going to be set up like at individual tables like we were for the end of the small business I guess, in kind of a big circle, and then the judges or whoever will come around and kind of you'll give your pitch at your table in front of your product?
Yes,
Yep.
Almost exactly like that. We want everybody to have the opportunity to pitch uninterrupted at first. So it's going to be, one at a time. And then they'll come through again and talk with you individually, gathering additional information. Joey, do you have any comments on that?
No, I think that's exactly how we imagined it, is kind of a more practiced presentation of your product and your business than was featured at the most recent graduations.
Right.
And it's just you are going to be saying your pitch multiple times throughout the night, and get more practiced as you go, and just get more comfortable with explaining your product to persons that might not know anything about your product, and in some cases are directly involved within the grocery retail environment. Ebru asks, can we bring equipment to prepare our product? Yeah, bring whatever you need. There are outlets. It's all electrical. So if you need to keep something cold or keep something hot, there is the opportunity to do that.
We do want to ask that that you not do any kind of slide presentation or anything electronic. So this is going to be one-on-one you with with the people. And may I ask, Joey, are the tables, are they 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot? What?
I think that they're like 6 to 8 feet per table.
Okay.
If memory serves, they're at least 6 feet. 6 feet by probably 2.5 to 3 feet.
Yeah. So if you have a tablecloth or a couple of things to pull together, display pieces, etc., you can bring that in. Judy, yes, Judy also mentioned she is not able to attend to travel. And so, Judy, what I thought we could do for you, Joey and I were talking, that you could maybe lead us off with the first pitch, and we'll have you do it via Zoom. And then we can gather the recordings after, not the recordings, they're the pitch questionnaires and things, to get that to you at a later date. And we can certainly patch you in if you are, winner of any of the grant money. And it is on Thursday, and it's at our Ventures offices. And It's next Thursday, and it's from our same time, 5:30 to 7:30, but we have the room available from 5 to 8. So yeah.
Alrighty.
That
And
sounds
if,
good.
Does
Oh.
that sound good, Judy? Good.
Uh-huh.
perfect. And remember, if you are planning on pitching, please put it in the chat right now. I'm saving that so we can have a record of everyone who plans on pitching. And then I will send out tomorrow the kind of eligibility for receiving the grants, because there's still some stuff that we have to look into. And Ebru, to answer your question, how long should your pitches be? Our estimate right now is 4 to 5 minutes. And again, that's dependent on how many people agree to pitch. We wanted to have it so that the pitches last about the first hour of the program. And then that way people have more of an opportunity to just walk around and talk to businesses. You can talk to your fellow entrepreneurs and gain some experience kind of networking with the businesses that you've been working with for the past month. Already.
It looks like Ella is out of state. And yeah, I think that if you'd like to pitch virtually, we can arrange for that as well.
Yeah, we'll just have you two be the first people to go, and we'll send more information on how that's going to work and set up a Zoom link for both of you in the coming days, because we want to see what type of equipment we might be able to put you guys up on the screen to pitch to the whole room, so that everyone can kind of experience your business pitch together.
And Shira asked about if you don't have the physical packaging ready, can you have mock-up or drawing to show? Absolutely. Absolutely. So in whatever way, shape, or form, prototype, that you can provide, since you won't have a physical thing, but a visual presentation would be just fine. And Victor, that would include you as well. Like if you have already gotten to a point where, you're identifying a business, you can certainly pitch your ideas. So.
We're just scrolling through the chat to see if I missed any questions. Yeah, and Victor, feel free to bring one of those lovely seasonal cakes that you want to cook.
Thank you,
I
Pam. Thank you,
myself
Joe. I
would
will.
love to try them.
I will.
I remember your cake from graduation, and it was both looked incredible and tasted incredible. So
Awesome.
for one, vote that more cake more than less cake.
Okay, I will bring something different too. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Pam.
Absolutely. And again, if you haven't thrown it in the chat, please let us know if you plan to pitch. It's looking like right now we have about 10 people who plan to pitch and be there on night of, which is absolutely great. And again, we'll send out the eligibility tomorrow when I send out all of the slides and the video from today's presentation. Alrighty, and if there are no more questions, okay. David said, is it okay to show up at 5 p.m. and practice in the space?
We'll do you one better.
Yeah. We have something to talk about a little bit after this as well, about what we're going to be doing next week. And I have a little ditty here. One thing that we love to say is you really need to believe in your product and its potential. And this is going to sound a little cheesy, and I'm sorry for that, but I feel like cheesy is appropriate every now and then. But believing in your product and your business is the spark that ignites the flame of success. Like a gardener who tends to a small seed, your belief provides the nurturing energy needed for growth, and trust in your vision. It's the it's a cornerstone of innovation, and have faith in your abilities, because they're the building blocks of achievement. Remember, every great business started as a dream, and every revolutionary product began as an idea. Embrace the challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and doubt as a motivator. In your journey, there will be skeptics and naysayers, but let their disbelief fuel your determination. Your passion is the compass that guides you through the uncharted waters. So believe in your product, your business, and most importantly, believe in yourself. With the
Here, here.
perseverance and conviction, you'll have the power to turn dreams into reality and ideas into extraordinary success. It's something that we have to, tell ourselves every now and then. We run into these issues, and we feel like it's this is the thing that the straw that breaks the camel's back. And if you just keep going, just keep swimming, like little Dory used to say, you'll eventually get there. And no business that has ever been started didn't have a time of struggle, and you just got to keep on going, and you can do it too. You can take it to the next level.
I have something I'd love to add, if I could, Joey. Don't ever apologize for your product in any way, shape, or form, or your business, or I'm sorry I don't have that ready yet, or oh, I'm sorry I didn't get this packaging done, and whatever. Do not do that. Don't apologize. You are where you are in your journey, and that is fine.
Absolutely. Alrighty, our next slide is talking about next week and what we're going to be doing. And Pam, do you want me to do that? Talk about this, or do you want
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So next Wednesday, we're going to be meeting again from 5:30 to 7:30 in office at the Ventures office at the 2100 building on 24th Avenue South, in the Mount Baker neighborhood. We're going to have a Q&A with Sharon Johnson, who is a grocery store wholesaler. And she's at the point where she's ready to scale her business. And she can answer a lot of questions that you have about kind of the struggles of getting to that point in your business, and what the next steps can look like for you. We're also going to try to bring in a few more entrepreneurs, but I don't have any guarantees yet, so they aren't on this list. And then the next part is we're going to be working on the prepping your pitch. This can be an opportunity to practice if you want to practice. We're looking into whether if people can bring in equipment the day before, if they need to. We aren't sure whether the room is being used again before we use it for the next day. That will be information that will be coming to you tomorrow. But we really want to give people the opportunity to run through, give each other feedback, receive feedback from us about your pitch, and kind of scope it out, see what everyone else is doing, maybe get some ideas on what to do. Judy, could I mail you a sample of my product for people to pass around and touch? Absolutely. Absolutely. And we
Send it to the
encourage
Ventures office.
Yeah, just mail it into the Ventures office, and we will receive it. And we will handle it with care, and definitely pass it around so that everyone can enjoy your products. And then the 28th, that is the big pitch night. We have the room from 5 to 8, so people can start arriving at 5 to prepare for pitches to start at 5:30. If someone is arriving a little late, they will be pitching late. But again, being punctual is extremely important. And it is, it's kind of respecting everyone's time. Everyone is going to try to be there at time on 5:30, and there is that kind of grace period. We have the room until 8 p.m. So, you know, we don't have to tear down as fast as possible. You don't have to like give your pitch and then put all your stuff away. There's going to be time for you to walk around, talk about your business, share your products with the folks from PCC, ourselves, and some people from Ventures. And we're going to be giving those pitches, and then throughout the first hour, we're going to then Pam and I are going to be tallying up the scores from the rubric, and then we're going to be presenting the winners of the competition, and then at the end of the night, you will be given the judging rubric for your business from the three judges, as well as the feedback that they provide. And I know that a lot of the merchandisers who you've already met, who aren't the official judges for this competition, they're going to want to give you feedback as well. So we're going to try to get all of that feedback to you night of. If it turns into kind of a logistical situation, we might end up emailing them to you as PDFs, but we are going to do our best to get everything copied and you know, accumulated for you night of.
Hebrew is asking about the parking situation. Do you know, is the garage open?
The garage should be open. I don't have a car, so it's not something that I regularly interact with. But it should be open.
We will get that information back to you. I know there is parking around the building, free, complimentary. Oh, thank you, Dylan. It says it's usually open till 10. So we'll get that confirmed for you. But the parking is generally not a problem at all.
Yeah. And Ebru, we'd love to see your products next week. Because it's remember these days are next week, Wednesday and Thursday. So it's gonna be one day right after the other. It's not waiting till next Wednesday. It's going to be just one day next. And so we would love to see you there. We would love to see your products, feel your products. If I recall correctly, you have the frozen cubes, like food cubes, if I might be mistaken. And if you want to, you know, mix those in a way that you think customers would use, feel free to do so. So we would love to see your product. We would love to hear about the, you know, the health benefits of your product and see how it would be used by the end consumer, as well as kind of seeing the packaging and how it would be presented on a retail scale. So however you want to do the presentation for your product, by all means. You know, if Dylan wants to make sandwiches with his peppers, like I have been for the last 2 weeks, I'm not going to complain. But I'm pro food anytime there's food. But yeah, we would love to see your products in both the packaging state and the end state if you're interested. However you want to present them to us and to the judges, that's how we want to see them. And like Pam spoke to earlier, you don't have to have your final packaging ready. Like, these don't have to be market ready to ship out the next day. That can be what you plan on doing with the $2,000. You know, you can be planning on finalizing your packaging, maybe hiring a graphic designer, or you know, buying your first batch of labels if you already have the label design that you want, buying the right packaging that you need. Those can be things of what you're going to do with the money if you haven't reached that step yet. And remember, one of the things that will not be accounted for in the judging, and we made sure it's not on there, you know, is it's not about how far along your business is. The business viability is not about, well, this person's already making sales, well, this person is not making sales. That's not what we're looking at. So don't worry about what stage your business, your products are in. We want to see it wherever it is, and hopefully have, you know, a mock-up of where you hope it to be in the future. Alrighty. So, last call for people mentioning if they're going to be at if they plan on pitching their product in person on next Thursday. Please let us know. I will be sending it out in the email as a question as well. That if you change your mind and you do want to do it but didn't mention it tonight, we will absolutely still include you on the list. I think now I'm up to about 11 people that I see, but I downloaded the chat, so I'll be taking a peek at that later. And that, I believe, whoop, wow, that went by really fast.
That did. Oh, there's Vince Lombardi again.
Yeah, here's Vince.
That was such a good one that we did it twice.
But yeah, thank you everyone for participating in the Scaling for Success course. This is our last kind of like virtual course day. It was an absolute pleasure to be here with you and interact and hear about your products. I'm so looking forward to next week. We really get to see them hands-on and experience them in person. Yeah, that's kind of all I have. Pam, do you have anything else to add?
No, nothing at all. But if you have any questions or anything else comes up, please feel free to send an email to Joey or me. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be so much fun. So thank you all.
All right, and here we finish with the gift of time.
Yes.
You get 13 minutes back in your evening. And remember to prepare your pitches, practice whatever you need to, get whatever display items you need. Oh, and remember InnoVentures, and I will include it in my email tomorrow as well with the link to register, sign up. It's a more pitch competition type thing, but it's more centered around teaching you public speaking and being more comfortable speaking in front of others. And there will be 30 people. There are certain requirements to participate in the class, like you have to be making sales right now. But it will start up the week right after we finish. And participation in this class will absolutely help set you up for the next steps. And Judy, can you use the same pitch for both? I mean, you're probably going to want to frame it in a little bit different way after you have the experience of giving the pitch. But I don't see why you have to change too much about it. It will again be centered around a display, and in that class, everyone will be receiving a $500, at least a $500 grant, with one business being selected for $2,750, $2,750 grant, as well as there will be
3 businesses, Joey.
out. What?
3 businesses.
Oh, is it 3 businesses? Okay, I'm just wrong.
Food.
3 businesses. Yeah, across the different types of business, 3 businesses will be given a larger amount. And in addition to the grants, you will also be receiving a stipend to help you pay for things for the display for that class in case you need to get, signage or different display items, different equipment to display your products. Yeah, so I encourage everyone in this class to sign up, check to see whether they're eligible. I think you'll definitely have a leg up on the competition, and it'll be a really great opportunity to kind of continue to foster the relationships within ventures, and meet some more incredible entrepreneurs that you might be able to partner with in the future, and be able to be more comfortable talking about your product as you move forward.
Thank you all so much. It's such a pleasure. I look forward to this night every week. So thank you again for your participation and your questions and enthusiasm. And Joey and I are really looking forward to next week. So thank you for giving the time back. I'm going to take my dog out for a walk. So All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pam. Thank
Have
you,
a good
Joe.
night. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
And to Rona, did you how many food businesses are there in this event or within InnoVentures? Because there'll be 10 businesses in InnoVentures, 10 food businesses, 10 service businesses, and 10 product businesses. That's the kind of the way that they designed it.
And it's, yeah, there's a lot of very specific criteria.
Yeah. There's a lot of specific
Just know.
criteria to qualify, which is more extensive than we know how to say it right now. It's a little bit of a list. There's a whole entire questionnaire when you go to register on whether you qualify.
I'm pitching to also Joe.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I
Fantastic.
couldn't write it on the chat. Something went wrong with my chat.
All right. No
Yeah,
problem.
but thank you.
Thank you,
Looking
everyone.
forward
Bye,
to it,
everybody.
Victor.
Thank you for the class.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Tisha. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Let's see. Shh.
Gracie just wants to be involved, Pam.
She does. Do you want to
She's
stop
sick of being
recording?
left out. Alrighty.
You want to
That's just
stop?
us and the AI note taker. But yeah, I think everything went
Can
well.
you stop recording?
Yes, I can. Let's do that right now, actually.